Hello everyone, hope you're doing great today. Well, I wanted to discuss with you another CBT technique, which is called ABCD technique, which is widely recognized and utilized in the clinical setting. So I'm gonna briefly discuss this technique, and then I will walk you through some more practical examples, so you can understand more about it and you can practice this technique yourself. ABCD technique. A stands for situations or activating situations that leads to anxiety, that creates anxiety. This might be any kind of situation that triggers your anxiety or leads to anxiety. For example, a place, objective or even subjective situation, environment, whatever. So that activated or created your anxiety for the first time, and you can even imagine about it. You can even remember it, because it makes you feel so bad and it activates and brings on negative feelings. Secondly, B refers to your irrational beliefs that you experience due to these situations that caused your anxiety. So it refers to all negative interpretations, beliefs, irrational beliefs related to the situation that triggered your anxiety. Third refers to consequences, all emotional, mental, and physical consequences, sensations due to these triggers or situations, and negative irrational beliefs. D is related to discussions or internal dialogue that you have with your mind when you are anxious. So, and these are all the negative internal thoughts that you have in your mind, or that you let's say carry out in your mind, right? So based on this situation, irrational beliefs, and negative consequences you have. So it's all, so it's related to the conclusions, right? It's related to the conclusions and how you think about this situation. So you come up to a conclusion. People who struggle with anxiety are likely to jump to the conclusions by having negative conclusions. And last but not least, emotions. New emotions emerge as a result of this process, internal process. So I'm gonna make it more clearer and practical for you. For example, you can ask these following questions. You can ask yourself these following questions. For example, think about the trigger you're struggling with managing in real life right now, right? Imagine what your life would look like if this trigger wasn't issue for you. Second, when you think of this trigger, what is the first thing comes to your mind? Isn't an image, a picture, a memory, a color, even whatever. Think of your trigger. Are there any circumstances in which this trigger could be regarded as beneficial response? List all the possible circumstances. Use only one word. Think a positive description of the alternative perspectives. What are you missing out on by maintaining your trigger? Imagine that your trigger exists on a spectrum. So you can ask yourself these questions in order to help you understand and practice this technique more concretely. So of course, I'm sure that if you struggle with anxiety, you might have your own responses. You know what caused you anxiety. What was the situation that led to anxiety, or what was the situation that created your anxiety? Just write it down and try to identify your beliefs, your thoughts associated to this situation. So how did you react? How did you react to this situation emotionally and mentally? Identify your irrational beliefs. You probably ended up having some irrational beliefs. Secondly, the consequences. So you got to focus on the consequences, advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons. You're gonna see that you have a lot of negative consequences, emotionally, psychologically, and even physically. You're gonna experience a lot of negative sensations, starting from the shortness of breath, so the increase of your heart palpitation, and so on and so forth. And so these are all the consequences. Is it worth it for you to focus on negative consequences, or just, so do you think that these consequences are beneficial, are good or bad for you? So you got to understand and just raise more awareness of it, a little bit about it. Secondly, all the dialogues. This is very important. The internal dialogues that you have. So after the negative situation caused your anxiety, your irrational beliefs, and all the consequences that you experience due to this situation, you start, your mind start, processing all of these feelings, these emotions, this situation, and leading you to a conclusion. So you got to focus on the conclusion. What is this conclusion? What is this conclusion? How did you come to this conclusion? Is this conclusion, you got to evaluate or reevaluate? Is it a real conclusion? Is it a helpful conclusion? Focus on the evidence. This is very important. So if you struggle or suffer from anxiety, you got to be concrete. Even if you have some kind of bizarre thoughts or paranoid thoughts, you don't have to avoid thinking about it, but you got to think of these situations. You got to think of this problem and focus on all the evidence. Don't focus on your irrational beliefs. Don't focus on your irrational emotions and irrational behaviors. Don't focus on your feelings, but focus on the evidence. Is there any evidence or proofs out there that support the fact that you have these weird ideas that support your feelings, or is just because you think about it? It's because of your glasses, because the kind of glasses you're wearing which normally and perceive this reality. So focus on your glasses in metaphorical meanings. Focus on what type of lenses, what type of glasses you're using to perceive this reality. You're gonna see that you're probably wearing toxic glasses, and you're perceiving your anxiety, you're perceiving your feelings, your behaviors, your thoughts from toxic, negative glasses and lenses that normally lead to all negative consequences, feelings, and so on and so forth. So focusing focusing on evidence is very important, or proofs, rather than, don't focus on feelings. Don't focus, for example, well, I think that I think that a friend of mine doesn't like me, and you can use some distorted habits, according to CBT, distorted thoughts, like for example, personalization or generalization, and you think that, yeah, he or she doesn't like me because of me, because I look ugly, I don't look good. For example, I don't know, you might have whatever, many ideas, whatever it is. Just try to focus on, to concentrate on evidence. So are you sure that, for example, your friend, your partner, or are you sure that you have this problem? Where are you based on your feelings or on your evidence? Try to focus on your evidence, because it helps you to see the reality with your own minds, to see your reality with, as it is, to see the reality naked, right? So just try to be, it helps you to be more realistic and true with yourself. And of course, at the end, you're gonna have positive emotions. You're gonna see that your emotions will change from dysfunctional and pathological into positive and helpful, and you're gonna improve your psycho-emotional state, and of course reduce your anxiety. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye.